So good Tai Chi posture. We're going to commence. And in all Yang style Tai Chi, the commencing is the same, pretty much, okay? Your good Tai Chi posture, dropping the shoulder, tucking the butt, hollowing the chest, chin slightly down, glance out into infinity, good thoughts going on in your mind, tongue on your palate, head straight up, 50-50. Slowly put the weight on your right, 60, 70, 80, allows that left heel to come up, 90, 100 open, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate, take a deep breath in as we elevate and draw up the water using our core. Shoulder level, reverse the process. How? Tuck the elbow, drop the shoulders, flex the knee, push down that water. Left hand in the center, right hand rises up higher. Open the palms to the ceiling. Watch the back or right hand come to the ear. Turn your head and neck as both hands meet in the center. And how are we going to repulse the monkey? Push him away and drag him down. Center the right. Look at the left, that's higher. Open the palms to the ceiling. Bring the back hand or left hand to the ear. Turn the head and neck, meet the hands in the middle, and repulse the monkey. Here we go. We're going to brush our knee. How? T stance, parallel and higher. Do you look like me? We just warmed this one up. We're in a T stance. Now we're going to get into an L stance. All together. Ear, drop the hand, put out the heel, turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Twist, step, root down, store the energy, set it up correctly. All together. Ear, hand, and heel. Turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Good. Sit back, sit down. Twist, step. We're going to hold our ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out on an L, move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. T stance with the ball. L stance. Move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Refreshing our memory for, we're at 3 o'clock, so that gives us a cue that we're in cloud hands. Flip the forward hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand where you can see the palm. The hands are staggered. You're in a good Tai Chi posture, you're in a bow stance. You're going to sit back and sit down, twist, step. What happens? The hands went to about 12 o'clock when we twisted. We didn't move our hands. To get out to the 9 o'clock, we're going to have to pivot on our left heel and move our hips and waist. Our hips and waist are the drivers of our body, drivers of our motion. What are we going to do? Pivot on the left heel, turn the hips and waist. There goes 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. What? Flip the hand, close the feet. 12 o'clock, stem and a cup. Turn the hips and waist out to 3 o'clock. What? 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. Coming to 12, we're about 50-50 in our distribution of weight. Turn the hips and waist to 9 o'clock. What? 1 thing happens. Only flip the hands. Move the hips and waist to 12. Move the hips and waist to 3. 2 things happen. Flip the hands. Close the feet. 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands. Open the feet. At 3 o'clock, only 1 thing happens. Flip the hands. But at 12 o'clock, we shift our weight to the left And allow our right foot to be weightless and come up as a golden cockerel. Shift the weight to the right and come up as a golden cockerel. Down, shift the weight to the right, right hand on the outside, right foot coming up, kick out, right, down, shift weight to the right, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out, left. Holding our ball on a T-stamp, so right hand on the bottom, right foot ready to go. Remember, we're gonna have to ward off. We have to put some martial arts in there, okay? So T stance, step out on an L, bottom hand advances, you forearm your opponent, you push him out. You just need that space that he can't come to. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands, palm to palm, but staggered. You're gonna grasp the bird's tail by sitting back, sitting down, turning at the hips and waist, contacting at your wrist, turn the hips and waist, center of the body, push the energy through, separate the energy and roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Other side, sit back, sit down, twist, step. T, stance, holding your ball. What are we gonna do? Forearm our opponent. Here we go. Step out on an L, turn the hips and waist, bottom hand advances, push them out. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, sit down, sit back, turn at your hips and waist to look back, contact, turn at the hips and waist, center of the body, push the energy through, separate your hands, roll back, sit down, store the energy so you can power him up and push him out. Closing form, sit back, sit down, twist with the left heel, pivot on the right heel to open, pivot on the right heel to close, embrace the tiger, put the right hand inside the cross, weight down heavily on the left so you can move your right, turn at your wrists so that your palms are facing you at shoulder level. Bring the tiger closer to you slightly to get that momentum to push him out using the force of your core and your wrists. Drop your shoulders, flex your knees, tuck your elbows, put it to the thigh, left heel comes up, off the ground, toe down, arch down, closing form. Okay? How was that? A lot of work or fun? How many say fun? How many say a lot of work? Yeah, a lot of work makes fun, right? So I think you can see that this is only our 5th week, but we've somehow put 10 movements to a well-organized, well-choreographed Yang 10 form, and it's sure rough. It's rough in that there are a lot of little edges that need to be polished up and refined, but hey, that's the beginning of Tai Chi, right? I think over the 5 weeks, you've intook a lot of knowledge, perhaps learned something more about your body that, you know, it's pretty old that we have. I'm speaking for myself, but, you know, over time, you can maybe gain back some of that flexibility that we once had when we were young. And how do you do that? Learning more about your body and what it can do, and doing some of the routine over and over again. Over the space of time, I know that probably you've gotten a little bit more muscle strength. Perhaps you've learned to form your footing or your stance a little bit more safely, maybe not consciously doing it, but some of that is conscious, but other times it's just because you've been working at it a little bit more that you realize, yeah, it's only the weightless foot then that can advance. And once this guy is grounded out, then the other one can take its chance, okay? All right.
You folks are getting a lot of things pushed at you, and I'm going to put a little bit more, but I want to just go down to a little bit of basics. I want everybody to just stand the way they are. Feel what your legs are doing, what your body's doing. And the next thing I want you to do is bend your knees. Go back up. Bend your knees. The next time you go, we're going to come up here. The next time you go down, I want you to feel what happens to the amount of pressure, if you will, down to the lower parts of your legs. Right now, everything is sort of just nice, stretched and rigid, and you're just standing on sticks. And you don't get the feeling, maybe as much as you will, that you're touching the ground. But when you drop down, what happens? You get more of an attention in your mind that my feet are in contact, and I am, one, becoming more stable, but the pressure is on my feet, and I become more aware of your feet. That's why we want you in Tai Chi to not be straight-legged and watch Lucille and stay there. And when you're ready to go, then you're ready. And only when you finally do this, you come down. When you're standing in normal Tai Chi posture, hopefully you learn just a little looseness in the knee, not locked. The knees are not locked. That already gives you a feeling of contact to the ground. And although, another thing added to that, although we do a lot of moving of the tips or our ankles, and we're doing some of this, we do some of this, almost invariably, the back foot never does this, okay? From a martial arts standpoint, you're going to be out of balance. And where is the weight? The weight is on this foot. And your opponent grabs you and says, come along. You're just going to keep going. Versus, if both feet are on the ground and the guy grabs you, and you're down here, if you sit down even more, it's going to take a lot more work for him to move you. By the same token, if you're walking along and you say, I'm going to go and tiptoe here in your everyday work, because I'm just going to grab one of these things. Nobody's going to pull you, but gravity is going to take you and you're going to fall. Okay? So that's another one. And the third thing, I sort of make it a joke, but in Tai Chi, no parts of your body is unemployed. In a given movement, all of them are employed. And related to that, when you first begin, the term is brush knee. But what do you see? You see this, this, this. What happened to the brush knee? The brush knee sort of is an afterthought, or not even a thought at all, because you know that you have to do this, and the hand is dangled here. So you don't want to do that. From here, step brush knee. In fact, this helps you, because it says, if this is going this way, what does the other part of the body have to do? Stay this way? No. They all help you in concert. And the function from a martial arts standpoint is you've got to protect yourself before you get access to your opponent. Protect yourself. Brush whatever he's coming toward you. Brush it away. And meanwhile, you're getting your offense into position. Brush the knee. See? Brush the knee. Continue to brush the knee, and you strike off. Okay? The movement here, some people, when it comes to getting yourself cocked up, this hand is staying here. Oh, I've got to get it back up here. Bring it. It's moving. Everybody's moving. Otherwise, what happens is, oh yeah, I got to get back down here. So think about that. No part of your body is, quote, unemployed when you're performing an act. And it's your job to figure out, how do I address the activity which seems less obvious, because it's already caught your eye to do this or to do this. If you're warding off, it's not just warding off. Two hands are working. Okay? This hand is potentially blocking, but it's getting into position. So I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to round his arm, and I'm going to grab him. So push him away, so he's away from you, and you can see what's going on over here. But you're also, if he happens to be wanting to punch you, kick you, you can practice this. And then you've got him where you want him. Well, you want him. You've pushed him away, but he hasn't gone away far enough to stay out of trouble. Then you're in contact, and you know different parts of his body, and it just happens maybe one of his arms are like that. So you switch around, grab the arm right here, and you come forward and you grab his wrist and you pull him down. You don't just pull down this way, you turn. Just imagine what you're doing to the guy's elbow. It's going to be stretched out this way, and you're going to turn him because you're turning him. Ward off. Turn. See how my hand goes? Although she tells you just to do this, that's a stylized. But if you say you're really going to use it for action, ward off, grab, turn. This is coming down, and this is doing, I'm sorry, not this way, it's turning this way. That will turn the joint, straighten your elbow, and it doesn't bend too well that way. But those are the applications. But remember, at this stage, you know what the obvious one part of the movement that you see, and you're going to address that. It's almost automatic. Look for the portion that's not so obvious. The brush knee or ward off, okay? Stay flat on your feet, bend your knees.
It's important to do the movements correctly, and what can help is that you create images in your mind as to what you're doing, and that will come over time. But rather than be oblivious to where the movement comes from, since all of Tai Chi is based on martial arts, but now turned into a meditative dance routine. So I guess what Ken's trying to say is that if you can have an ideal world, you will not just look only at that forward hand, but you will also look at the hand or the whole body as to what each limb or thing is doing simultaneously to get that blow out or to get that force out. So we talk about, in a general way, opposites attract, yin and yang. So one comes out, one comes in. And there are many, many ways of approaching a discipline through martial arts, through me, and then yet we can decorate it a little bit more and add more stuff to it. We could also say that the other hand is a counterbalance hand, and what is it doing here? It's not going to sleep like he says. We didn't cover that. Lots of people will then look, like he says, at the outward hand, and then they forget about this guy. But this is the guy that keeps you erect and keeps you in good form, keeps you in the best optimal position where your energy can flow. But once it goes to sleep, the energy just went stripped down there and nothing coming through the system holding you so that you are in good balance, in strong, sturdy, secure position. So oftentimes I refer this hand, because we didn't really talk about it. So don't, when we fill it with detail, I still want you to get the feeling that the power of the hips and waist after you multitask brings you around. And how did I finish it off? I turn my hips and waist. The energy simultaneously comes through the back of my foot, turn my hips and waist, and comes down. I'm secure now, okay? You could come here, Sheila could come here and push me, and perhaps I would still keep my stance. But if this guy goes down and she pushes me from this, I have nothing secure here. So I often refer to this hand as holding another ball. You don't want it to go to sleep.
It's all been worked out for people that want to fight, but it's worked out so we can use the same paradigm for our body improvement, both physically and mentally. When you do the movements in the proper way, you will get the benefits that martial artists get in terms of staying in balance and delivering as much energy as they can in a concerted way. And of course, you're going to move your muscles that you may or may not have moved before. I remember one of our longtime students when he first started, after the first day, he said, "Hey, is your body supposed to hurt the next day?" And I said, "It probably does, because you're moving something that you've never moved before. And your body is telling you, I never knew that was there, but the next day you do."
Okay, good. And just to add something, we're here to strengthen our core. So if we only looked at where the forward hand goes and forget about this guy that's coming out and forget about this guy, we're not engaging our core. Anybody could just go like this, right? It's only having to do with very little upper shoulder, but mainly this forearm here and the wrist and the fingers. So you want to always engage the core, okay? All right, 5 minutes. Any questions first? Any questions? So what I want to do now is do the 10 form again, okay? 10 form, and let's see how all our movements are put together. Okay, let's have fun. Let's relax, let's calm down, let's center ourselves, let's use our core. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, open, 50-50, hands rotate, take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands, shoulder level, push down the water, make yourself small, flex your knee. Left hand remains in the middle, right hand is higher, open to the ceiling. Watch that back hand come to the ear. Turn your head and neck. Meet in the center with both hands. Repulse of the monkey, pushing and pulling him. Center, left hand higher. Open the front hand to the ceiling. Watch the back hand to the ear. Turn the head and neck. Meet in the center. Repulse the monkey. T-stance, right hand higher, left hand to the shoulder. We're going to multitask to brush our knee all together. Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist fully to brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. T-stance, set it up correctly. All together, multitask. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, twist step. Hold your ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, go up the horse's mane. Sit back and sit down, twist step. Root down, T stance, hold your ball for better centering. Step out on an L, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Cloud hands, Flip the forward hand, no longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand. We're at 3 o'clock and we'll work to get to 9 o'clock. Sit back, sit down, twist, step, 12 o'clock. Pivot with your left heel, go out to the 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. Use your hips and waist to get to 12, continually to get to 3. Flip the hands, open the feet, 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, only one thing happens. Flip the hands. Use your hips and waist to get out to 3. Here it is. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock. 2 things happen at 9. Ready? Flip hands, open. 12 o'clock. But at 3 o'clock, only one thing happens. Cloud hands ends and turns us into a what? Shift weight to the left. Right hand comes up, right foot comes up, golden cockerel. Down, shift weight to the right, left foot comes up, left hand comes up, push down, push up. Down, 50-50, shift weight to the left, right hand on the outside, right foot getting ready to come up, and kick out right. Down, shift weight to the right, left hand on the outside of the cross, left foot coming up, kick out left. Holding our ball on a T stance, we're going to the right to forearm our opponent. Step out on an L, bottom hand advances to push out your opponent. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands. Grasp the bird's tail. Turn at the hips and waist to look back. Contact, turn again at the hips and waist, push the energy through from the center. Separate the hands, roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step. You're going to hold your ball for better centering on a T stance. Step out on an L, bottom hand advances to ward off your opponent. Push him out. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, turn, push, separate, roll back, sit down, spiral up and lunge forward. Apparently closing, twist, step, open twist, in, pivot. Embrace with the right hand inside the cross. Shift your weight over. Rotate on your wrist so that the palms are facing you so that you could bring the tiger closer to your chest. Push them out. Separate the energy. Close your forearm. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, flex the knees. Gravity brings you back all the way home. In form. Shift weight to the right. Open. 50-50. Hands rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands. Shoulder level. Push down the water. Make yourself small. Flex your knee. Left hand remains in the middle. Right hand is higher. Open to the ceiling. Watch that back hand come to the ear. Turn your head and neck. Meet in the center with both hands. Repulse of the monkey, pushing and pulling him. Center, left hand higher. Open the front hand to the ceiling. Watch the back hand to the ear. Turn the head and neck. Meet in the center. Repulse the monkey. T stance. Right hand higher. Left hand to the shoulder. We're going to multitask to brush our knee. All together. Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist fully to brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. T stance, set it up correctly. All together, multitask. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. Hold your ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, go up the horse's mane. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. Root down. T-stance. Hold your ball for better centering. Step out on an L. Bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Cloud hands. Flip the forward hand. No longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand. We're at 3 o'clock and we'll work to get to 9 o'clock. Sit back. Sit down. Twist step. 12 o'clock. Pivot with your left heel. Go out to the 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. Use your hips and waist to get to 12. Continually to get to 3. Flip the hands. Open the feet. 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, only one thing happens. Flip the hands. Use your hips and waist to get out to 3. Here it is. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock. 2 things happen at 9. Ready? Flip hands, open. 12 o'clock. But at 3 o'clock, only one thing happens. Cloud hands ends and turns us into a what? Shift weight to the left. Right hand comes up, right foot comes up. Golden cockerel. Down, shift weight to the right. Left foot comes up, left hand comes up. Push down, push up. Down, 50-50. Shift weight to the left. Right hand on the outside, right foot getting ready to come up and kick out right. Down, shift weight to the right. Left hand on the outside of the cross, left foot coming up, kick out left. Holding our ball on a T stance, we're going to the right to forearm our opponent. Step out on an L, bottom hand advances to push out your opponent. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands. Grasp the bird's tail. Turn at the hips and waist to look back. Contact, turn again at the hips and waist, push the energy through from the center. Separate the hands, roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step. You're going to hold your ball for better centering on a T stance. Step out on an L, bottom hand advances to ward off your opponent. Push him out. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact, turn, push, separate, roll back, sit down, spiral up and lunge forward. Apparently closing, twist step, open twist, in pivot. Embrace with the right hand inside the cross. Shift your weight over. Rotate on your wrist so that the palms are facing you so that you could bring the tiger closer to your chest. Push them out. Separate the energy. Close your forearm. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, flex the knees. Gravity brings you back all the way home. Okay. So with that, hopefully, you've brought a little sensation of relaxation, maybe a sense of peacefulness, okay? And that's Tai Chi, okay? Good job. Okay, see you next time. 50. Okay, let's practice our Tai Chi walk now, coming forward, okay? So, unlike the 10 form, the 16 and the 24 require linear movements. So Tai Chi walk is the foundation. So unless we get our feet work really well, or our hands will mimic if they're done well, okay? Good Tai Chi posture, hands at your waist. Pivot with your right heel, walk in the zigzag direction, 2 hips addressed. Bear down on your right, out on an L, hardly any weight, because the weight now drifts from the bottom of your foot all the way through your system, through your chest and through your shoulders, and down as a bow stance. Okay, that's very important. Sit back, sit down, twist out to the left, 2 hips in that direction. L stance, move the energy all across, then turn the hips and waist, bow stance. And at bow stance, you should have felt your shoulders even dropping a little bit more, getting that sense of groundingness, gravity taking care of you. Now you can release some of that energy and put it all the way back into the back foot to allow the right heel to pivot out because it's weightless. Walk in that direction, put your heel out. Do not put much weight there because all the energy needs to then move through the system and come across and come down softly on a bow stance. Knee not beyond the toe, and the back knee should not be locked. And it should never be dipped, okay? So here, let's do an experiment. So you say, my knee is not locked, but let's really lock it. Let's stiffen it up. Now, do you feel that the knee is not only locked, but there's a shift in your Tai Chi posture? Now, do the other extreme. Dip this back knee down. Oh my goodness, we are going to fall. There's nothing keeping us firm to the ground. Therefore, we come up a little bit, but do not lock. Okay? But I should see your knee pretty straight, but not dipped and not stiff up like this, okay? So that's that in-between stage that we need to find and get that sensation. Sitting back and sitting down. Twist out on a zigzag to the left, 2 hips in that direction. Heel out. You're gonna move the energy all the way through, then flatten down, bow stance. Drop that shoulder even more. Sit back and sit down to alleviate the weight of the front, to allow it to twist out. Walk in that right direction, heel out. Use that energy to move that you've saved so well. Turn the hips and waist down. Sit back and sit down. Twist out, walk in the left zigzag, heel, move the energy all the way through the system, flatten down, bow. So in this deliberate walking and slow pace, we're trying to build muscle strength and understanding. It's not because I want enough time to, only want the time to, or that duration to direct you, but also to build the strength that we need. So in Tai Chi, if the better we can hold our weight all on one foot, the cleaner and the more relaxation we are able to do, okay? Not asking you to go for that 100%, but always know that over time, one limb or one side of our body should be able to take that weight of our entire body. A little better for better balance. Last one. Twist out, shift weight, heel. Move that energy all the way through the system. Don't shortcut it and put it just to the waist. And then come down, and that's when you get this shoulder dropping down, okay? All right, you can go back to your regular spot. And let's see if we can come forward using our 16 now, okay? But first starting at the clock wall, dropping those shoulders, sinking your chest, tucking your butt. Thinking through that it's the 16 form, and we're going to come forward after we commence. Commencing form. Shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90 on the toe, off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate, take a deep breath in, use your core to draw up that water. At shoulder level, reverse the process using the core to make yourself small. Shift weight to the right as you form your ball on a T stance. Step out on the heel. Turn the hips and waist, move that energy, bottom hand advances to part the wild horse's mane. Sit back and sit down. Twist out as if you're walking in the zigzag direction. Hold your ball, heel out, move the energy, bottom hand advances, apart, and final 2. Half step forward means that back foot goes on to its toe while you hold your ball. You're going to spin by dropping your right shoulder, lifting up the left hand on the toe of your front, set it off the ground, white crane spreads its wings. Drop the front foot, tuck the elbow in towards the center, then drop that hand down to bisect as you swirl back to look back. Multitask. 3 things happen. Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, twist step. Walk in that zigzag, set it up, all together. Turn the hips and waist, brush knee. 2 and final. Sit back, sit down, twist out, but when you shift your weight, the left hand is higher and the right hand starts to form a fist and keep it to the left hip. Okay? So when we shift our weight, these things happen. The right hand goes as a fist to the hip. Shift the weight, left hand goes down, right hand fisted up, comes up, and out to deflect. Turn that wrist in, bring it to the hip as you parry with the left and punch with the right. The ending movement of the punch, the left hand should be in line with the bend of the right elbow. Strip the guy off of you, open your fingers, roll back and sit down, push him down, push him up, push him out. Then you're going to what? Pivot on the back and pivot on the front of the heel, okay? So both foot are weighted now, so we're going to have to give up some weight of the back, and you're going to pivot on your heel, pivot on your other heel, the front, hook the right hand or back hand, shift the weight to a T. The hand that's closer to your face now takes a turn outward as you place your heel down to do a single whip. Okay, let's do it all first, and then we'll figure out how to do the details. Now, we want to get to the front, but we're going to have to swirl the back hand and rock the left foot because our weight has to be on the back, okay? Half step forward, swirl that right hand, weight on the back so that makes the front foot go on its heel, and then we're going to play our lute on our heel. Is that right? Is that right, Ken? Yeah. Repulse monkey? Is that right? Yeah. Center, higher, glance at the back. We're going backwards, all together. Ear, lift, toe, heel, pivot on the ball of our foot as we meet, slide back, push back. Lead with the toe, so you should be on the toe of your front. Left hand is higher, you're glancing at it, you're setting it up. 3 things happen. Ear, lift, toe, heel, meet in the center, repulse, final. And this is where I reposition you, but let's not do it this time, okay? You're going to pivot on your front foot, and you're going to pirouette on your back. Still not going to work because you're not going to see me, but let's see how well you can do it just by listening, okay? So we're going to pivot on the heel of the front. We're going to put our toe of the back right, put the weight on our toe. Therefore, our right hand should be palms up to the ceiling, and our left hand should be in a cup position, 2 inches below your navel. You're going to kick out with your right heel and reposition your ball. Here we go. Kick out with your right heel, hold your ball, shift your weight to the front, out with your left heel, turn the ball, put the left hand to the forehead, maiden shuttles on her left. Sit back, sit down, instep, hold your ball, right heel out, right hand comes up to the forehead, maiden on her right. Okay, and then we lost you, but some of you are doing good, okay? So come back. So yeah, good. You can laugh about it because, you know, it's not easy teaching our old body how to move. Okay, and it's not easy not to see someone and just listen and have interference and everything. So that's usually the general thing about any kind of dance. You need a mirror, you need someone to watch, you need to be in the right frame of mind, you need to concentrate, but ever so much more in Tai Chi, okay, because you're balancing. All right, this time we're going sideways, okay? And I know that this is only our 5th class, and I know that we're getting to harder stuff, okay? And it seems like I'm kind of dragging on the easier stuff in a way, yes, in a way I want to clean up those movements before we get into a little harder ones. All right, let's go to the left now, okay? Regular way. And then we'll stop it after a certain part, maybe, okay, maybe. All right, good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, off the ground, open, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate. Shoulder level, push down, use your core, flex your knees, make yourself small. T-stance, holding your ball. Don't move unless you're secure. Step out on an L, move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. 1. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that zigzag, hold your ball for better balance. Out on an L, move the energy, bottom hand advances. 2. Half step forward means left foot on its toe as you form your ball. Spin your ball to the right as you sit back on your back foot, allows you to rock the front foot to the toe. Left hand is elevated as you watch. Lift off the ground, place it on your toe, set up the parameters for white crane spreads his wings. And drop that left foot so it's weighted. So the front foot is only on its toe without hardly any weight. Drop the front foot as you tuck the elbow in, bisect the body. Cut it in half. Swirl back with your right hand to look at your left hand that's higher. All together, 3 things. Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist. Brush knee 1. Sit back, sit down, twist out, setting it up correctly. All together, brush knee 2. Sit back, sit down, twist out, left hand high, right hand fisted by the hip. Shift your weight, left hand comes down, right hand comes up, right heel comes up, deflect to the right. Turn it in, bring it to the hip as you parry. Step out to punch. Come back to that elbow now with the left hand. Strip the guy off of you, open your fingers, roll back, sit down, push him down. Push them up and push them out. This time we're going to pivot on our back heel and then our front heel. How are we going to do that? We're going to give some of the weight to our front to soften up that back and twist on the heel. The right hand moves towards the back. We pivot on the front. We shift our weight, form our hook, arm our T. Left hand comes across, then turn the fist, push out as you set up your single whip. Half step forward, swirl that back hand, sit on the back foot, rock the front foot, play your lute on your heel. Okay, weight on the back. Weight has to be on the back because we're going to repulse a monkey, and we need the stability of our back or right foot. Center the front hand. Look at the right hand that's higher. All together. Ear, lift, toe, heel. Pivot on the ball of the front of the foot as you meet in the middle. Slide back, push forward. One more repulsing. Lead with the toe, so that means the front foot is on his toe. As you open to the palm to the ceiling of the front, left hand higher, glancing, ready. Ear, toe, heel, pivot to the front, slide back. Here goes our pivot and our pirouette. So just remember, pivot is usually on its heel, pirouette is on its toe. So we're going to pivot on the heel of the front, and we're going to shift the weight, and here we are. You should be able to see me. We're on the toe, we're pirouetting on the toe. Our weight is on the back. On our hands, we have the left hand 2 inches below your navel, and the right hand, the palm is up and to the ceiling, as if we were holding a ball, but incorrectly. So we're going to correct that. The right toed foot is going to come out and swing to its heel, and you're going to reposition your ball. Here we go. Step out, kick out, reposition. You're sort of in the beyond the clock now, okay? You're going to shift your weight to the front. You're going to put your heel out, and you're going to turn the ball, and you're going to be ready to put the shuttlecock to the left. We're going to sit back and sit down. We're going to take an instep, and we're going to hold our ball. Our right foot is on its toe. As we spin the ball to the left, our heel of the right comes out. Ready? Spin, heel, turn, forehead, put the shuttlecock there. Good. Now we're going to the bottom of the sea. How? We're going to use our back or left foot and come up, put it on its toe, reposition, look to the clock wall, set up the left hand, and lift the front foot as we go down to the bottom of the sea. Sweep with the right. One hand comes up, 2 hands come up, then your foot, and stretch out with your knee and flash arms like a fan. Okay, don't worry about it, we'll cover it later. Sit back, sit down, twist, step, 12 o'clock. What happens? 9 o'clock? 2 things happen. Flip the hands. 1 thing happens. 2 things happen at 3, flip and close. 2 things happens at 9. And that's the end of cloud hands at 3. We close and we form a ball, and we turn it into a T stance, because we now want to ward off. Everybody knows how to ward off from 10 form. Step out, bottom hand advances to forearm your opponent. Turn your hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, look down, look back, turn, contact, turn, push, separate, roll back, sit down, spiral up and out. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. T stance, holding your ball. Step out, L, bottom hand advances, ward off. Make sure it's eye level. Turn hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail, sit down, sit back, turn at the hips and waist to look back, contact, turn at the hips and waist, push the energy from the middle, separate, roll back and sit down. Spiral up and out. Apparently closing, sit back, sit down, twist, drop that left hand, pivot on the right, right hand follows, pivot on the right to come in, right hand follows, embrace the tiger, right hand on the inside of the cross through the middle of your body, weight it heavily on the left to allow the right foot to move over, turn on the wrists, so now both palms are facing, you're about chest level, bring the tiger closer to get that momentum to use on the left wrist to push out that energy, separate the energy. Drop the shoulders, tuck the elbows, flex the knees. Gravity brings you back home. as you lift off the ground to close your forearm. Okay, well, it's hard work, yeah? But 16 movements, you've done it, okay? Not really, kind of done roughly, but here we are, we can refine them, okay? And kind of smooth out those jagged edges. All right. Not easy to teach too because you can't see everything about me, but ideal because we have cameras going every which way. So please use your online lessons to help yourself, okay? Scrub it back and forth. That's how Ken taught me how to do the 10, the 16, and the 88. Scrubbing back somebody else's videos and figuring it out, then teaching it to himself, then putting me off and saying, wait, I'm not ready for you, and then finally, getting more into his journey to feel more confident, and then teaching it to me. Same way with me. I won't teach you until I know a little bit more. Heel out, hold your ball, heel out, spin, flip, shuttle. Sit back, out, ball, spin, turn, flip, there. Okay, that's what I want to practice now, okay? So what? This way, yeah? Yeah, okay. Angle to the right, right hand on the top, left foot ready to go, left hand on the bottom. Holding your ball, we're gonna shuttle to the left, okay? Rooting down, step out, spin the ball. As it goes to the forehead, flip and put the shuttlecock. Sit back, twist out, wrong way, hold ball, heel, spin the ball. As it goes to the forehead, move, shuttle, flip. This is the correct way. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, spin ball, forehead flip, shuttle, cock. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel, spin, turn hips and wave. Do the two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, spin heel, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two things. Sit back, twist out, hold ball, heel spin, two